Morning guys, so this is my first solo podcast, something I've been told is good to do. So it's something I do a lot of in my head and something I do a lot of and then delete and never actually share with the world. So I've got my new voice recorder, I have my headphones in and I have a new microphone on. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So a lot of people ask me all the time, how do I cope with little sleep? And honest answer is I don't actually know. So let me kind of go a little bit deeper into what actually happened. So perfect example is the last 3 days. So I've been to Peterborough on a 3-day course, which I've absolutely loved. On the Wednesday, went to bed so Tuesday night, went to bed at about midnight. I was meant to be leaving at 5:30. I woke up at 4 o'clock on the dot, wide awake. So lay there for about half hour, then get up, do some paperwork, and then got in the car and left early and just, bimbled on the way up to Peterborough and made it in plenty of time, give me time to stop and grab a drink. So I left with plenty of time. We had a full day, so we was in the classroom from 9 till about 6. Then we went out for a meal, and then by the time I got back to found the hotel, because I hadn't actually got to the hotel yet, found the hotel, checked in, unpacked, had a shower, sat down. It was probably about 10:30. Obviously spoke to Sade, done a bit of paperwork, and then it's about 11:30. So I went to bed at 11:30. So I'd only had, I don't know, 4 hours sleep. So again, went to bed about 11:30, literally 4 o'clock on the dot, wide awake. So I laid in bed for about an hour, tossing and turning, thinking, no switch off, no count to 10, take a breath, go for a run, no, don't go for a run, get on your phone, no, leave your phone alone. Just on repeat constantly for an hour. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to get up and go for a run. So I got up, got dressed, opened the curtains, and it was piercing down, like torrential. And I didn't have enough change clothes. I only had one pair of trainers. So what I did want to do was go for a run and then wear wet trainers for the next 2 days. So I jumped back in bed and done some more paperwork, believe it or not. Got up, had breakfast, went to the event. Another 9-10 hours in the classroom, which was great. Quite heavy, quite draining. And again, if you know me, I do struggle with classrooms, so it was quite intense. And then it was in a classroom, not intense, as Sade always tells me when I say we're intense. Little private joke, I guess. So anyway, we finished the course. All of us collectively as a group, we went out for a meal. Actually, it's a lie. We didn't go for a meal. We went back to one of the guys' hotel. We went to the gym. We done some pads. Done some pads with a nice young lady called Sarah, who owns her own business and a company, which I'll come to in a minute. Then we all had a meal. Then we done a podcast. We just sat down, started recording. An hour and 10 minutes later, we're still going. So we finished that up. Went back to the hotel. Again, it was gone midnight, I think, by that time. So I thought, right, I'm shattered. I've had no sleep. And then jumped into bed, probably about half hour to unwind. And then, probably fell asleep about 1:30. Guess what time I was up? Yeah, you got it. 5 o'clock. So again, another 4 hours sleep. I'm not going to sit there and go, all right, it's 3 hours, 58 minutes. 4 hours sleep. Got up, another 8-9 hours in the classroom, followed by a 2.5 hour drive home in torrential rain for the first hour, so my eyeballs were out here. And then got home and I said hello to the girls. I wasn't hungry, so didn't have anything to eat. Sit down, chilled out, done a bit more paperwork while they was watching Adam's Family, and then then we went to bed. So I thought, I am knackered. I've had 4 hours sleep a night for 3 nights. Been in the classroom for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, depending on which day. I thought, I'm going to absolutely crash out. Guess what time I was awake this morning? 3:13. So again, I lay in bed for half hour and I say to myself, go to sleep, go to sleep. No, get up and do paperwork. You might as well get it done. You're awake. And then Sade's like, are you okay? Then I need a wee, so I have to go to wee. Then I get back in bed. Obviously woke her up. She's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just, brains. So, yeah, on it goes. So I got up at about 4, come downstairs, chatted to Nick. Hey, Nick, if you watch this, we talked about Bellator. We talked about some of the fighters that we're starting to sign for the HKA USA. I've done a bit more paperwork on the podcast. And then I laid there for an hour, on, off, go to sleep, shut my eyes for a bit, wake back up, back on the phone, a bit more. And I'm not just looking through Facebook, I'm generally writing down business ideas, which I'm now going to crack on with. I can't remember the time now. So it's just gone 7 o'clock. So, haha. let's turn that down a bit. I wondered if the heat was going to jump on, so let's try that. I have no idea how that's going to affect us, but we'll go with it, which is slightly annoying. So yeah, 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours of sleep a night for 3 nights. And honestly, how do I feel? I feel all right. I feel all right. And people say to me all the time, they say, how do you cope? How do you cope? I guess from the age of 8, 9, 10, I've always, I had a paper round when I was like 11. I know you wasn't meant to have them until 13, but obviously I lied about my age. I wanted money, so kept harassing news agents until I got a paper round and told them I was 13. So I've always been awake since 5:30, 6 o'clock, since I started senior school in reality. From the age of 11 we were going to shows, and a lot of shows were in Norfolk, Guildford, so it meant a 6 a.m. start, which means getting up at 5, getting your kit ready, getting to the gym, meeting, and then going. So I'm glad that shut up, hopefully for a bit. And yeah, so my brain has always been used to it. And then over the last few years, it's probably got worse with the business growing and me trying to do a better job and starting to employ people, having staff, having more members, dealing with more issues and problems. It obviously gets into your head a little bit. So I started to struggle quite a bit, I think. Not with the lack of sleep, but just with struggling with not sleeping. And then, if I'm honest, what I was struggling with everyone telling me that it's wrong and I'm going to be ill and I'm going to die and I'm going to crash and burn out. But again, I've been up since 3 a.m. and I feel fine. I wouldn't say headache, got a little bit of pressure on my head, but to be honest, I have that most days. So the biggest pressure was people telling me that I needed help. So then I started to go, well, maybe I do need help. Maybe I do need help. Maybe I should go and see a doctor. So that dwelled on it a bit, and then you try night nurse. I've never tried like sleeping tablets. Someone did give me a couple of drops of something, I couldn't tell you what it was, and all that done is gave me anxiety. They go, this will make you sleep, it really calms me, chills me out, I sleep for 10 hours when I take this stuff. I took it, I was up for 4 hours with anxiety. So that didn't work either. So last year I went to hypnotherapy. One of my biggest problems was when I used to go to bed, I couldn't switch off. And that's something I've dealt with now. So for example, I'd go to bed on my phone after watching TV. I'd deal with an hour of emails and Facebook and paperwork. Then I'd put the phone down and then my brain's still going tick, 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 tick. So the biggest thing that I've probably made change in my life is I now leave my phone downstairs. So get home from the gym, do my paperwork, watch a bit of TV, chill out with Sade for a bit, and then my phone will go on silent, on charge, in the front room, and then we'll go up to bed. So that's it, that's work done, no more phone. And it probably took about 2 weeks. This is mental. It probably took me about 2 weeks to have that detachment from my phone. I'd go upstairs, I'm like, what am I missing? What if someone calls? What if I need to reply to someone? For example, I get messages at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hi Cole, hope you're well. Can I book in for a PT? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but yet I still feel the need to message them back going, I'll try and fit you in when I can, which is insane. They can wait till the next day, but in my head they couldn't. They had to know there and then. So having that detachment from the phone, be away from the phone, took about 2 weeks to kind of deal with, which, as I say out loud, sounds mental. But that's probably the biggest key element. And I think that's why a lot of children nowadays struggle with sleeping, anxiety, lack of sleep, sleep deprivation, tiredness, anger, being more aggressive because they're going to bed on their phone, their WhatsApp, their Snapchat is going ding, 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 ding. Even my daughters do it, which infuriates me, but they're teenagers, and if they're not in the loop, they're out of the loop. So I get why they want to be in the loop, but I do think this is a big problem and a growing problem. So I'm really happy that I've got away from that. And obviously don't drink coffee at 10 o'clock at night, don't have Red Bull at 10 o'clock at night. So I've now cut my caffeine down. I still drink tea probably 7, 8 o'clock, and I'm sure there's professionals that will tell me that that's bad, but that's better than 11 o'clock. And I don't finish training till 9 in reality most nights, 8:30, 9. So yeah, it's something that I've learned to turn that the other way. Something I've learned to deal with. Sorry, editors, this is new, so you have to just play with it, and hopefully we can make it better. Where was I? So yes, detachment from the phone, leaving the phone downstairs, cut out caffeine as early as you can, definitely helps. When I go to bed, I'm a lot more relaxed. So I do go to sleep. So I probably used to get 3 to 4 hours a night, roughly. On a good night, 5 hours. So go to bed at midnight, I'd be awake at about 5. That has now gone up to, on average, I would say 6.5. So we'd go to bed at midnight, I'd be awake at 6 a.m, but wide awake. And then, but the last 3 days, I've been getting 3 hours, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. But that goes back to proving what's happening in my head. So I can go to sleep now because I turn my phone off and leave it alone, don't have caffeine. But what is happening is something will wake me, or I'll wake myself up and my brain starts going into business mode, work mode. So this morning, all I've been thinking about is like how my podcast is going to work and what I can give people for free, and if people are going to want to listen, and what content is going to be involved and all this kind of stuff. So I've got this massive picture in my head that I need to put up on this board in a minute. So I'm going to do that in a minute. This is why I'm at the gym so early. And then I say to myself, go back to sleep, shut your eyes, and then something else kicks in. Nick will be online, so we'll chat about our HK USA venture. We'll talk about the fighters and, you know, the sponsors, how well they're doing, or the guys we're sponsoring, should I say. Big shout out to Julius. He won a fight last night. Watched it on Bellator 233. Unbelievable ring craft, by the way, buddy. Absolutely incredible. Something I talk to my fight team all the time is about ring craft. And that was a masterclass of keeping your unbeaten fighter in front of you on his back foot. He didn't know where to go, didn't know where to stand. But I've gone completely off tangent once again. So yeah, I want to talk about my hypnotherapy. So I had 4 sessions, and it did help, but not to drop me out to sleep, or not what I thought about dropping me out to sleep. What it helped me with is helping understand that it's okay to not reply to people after 10 seconds. It's okay to leave your phone downstairs. It's okay that people will be able to wait till the next day, or they certainly bloody should do. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that was one of the biggest things. Leaving the phone and trying to switch off was, for me, the biggest thing to allow me to get to sleep. So if you are struggling with that, then try them steps first. It really helped me. I'm not saying it's going to help you, but it really helped me. The next thing is, people say about, you've got to get 8 hours sleep a night or you'll die. I don't, never have. I'm not dead. I don't plan on dying yet. And I do feel fine. So if you feel fine, don't worry about it. So I've been meeting quite a few people on these business courses I've been going to. And a lot of the entrepreneurs get up at 4 a.m, go to the gym at 4:30, have their breakfast, get ready for work at 5 a.m, and then crack on. So their busiest time is from 5 till 8, half 8 in the morning, when Facebook isn't busy, their emails aren't going off, they're left alone and they can crack on with their work. And they obviously schedule their stuff, and they do have, you know, the bigger you get, the better you get. You have VAs and PAs and all that kind of stuff. I can't imagine getting up at 4, although I do, but going to the gym and then starting. But my busy time is, in reality at the moment, school, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, after school, and then at the gym, 5 p.m, 6 p.m, through till half 8, 9. So I'm busy afternoon and evening. But that works for me, that might not work for you. So, for example, one of the entrepreneurs, Nick, can't remember his surname, I know that he gets up at 4:30, does all his bits by 9 o'clock, then carries on with work. And then he's in bed by 9 o'clock. I'm still at the gym at 9, so his routine won't work for mine. But my routine won't work for his either. So you've got to find a routine that works for you, whether it be with the kids, with the family, with your work, with your friendship circle. Whatever needs to work for you, it has to work for you. So don't worry about what everyone else is doing. I go to bed at 11:30, 12 every night. But if your eyes are dropping off and you can't even see straight by 8:30, then go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you need 10 hours, you need 10 hours. If you're lucky and you only need 4 or 5, then that's great. You get more hours in the day to get more shit done. And to be honest, that's the thing I'm starting to learn now. So, you know, I've done loads of notes this morning. I'm going to write it all up before the gym gets busy. We've got 3 classes in this morning, then we've got 4 hours of grading. So I'm not going to get time to do it then, so I'm going to have to do it now, which I'm cool with. I'm learning to be cool with that as well. So everyone's lifestyle is different, everyone's patterns are different, and don't worry about what anyone else does, do what works for you. So that's probably my biggest tip. And if you're not sleeping, don't stress about it too much. Again, I probably spent 2 years about stressing about not sleeping, and that was my worst thing to do. So I'm learning to deal with that. Again, I'm not perfect. We will have to learn, and so I'm learning. Ooh, a bit creaky. And something else I want to cover off really quickly before I go is how me and Sade work. So everyone will say, how do you cope? So when me and Sade got together, to start with, obviously I used to run the gym, and I actually used to finish later then. I used to finish at 10 o'clock. So Sade would be like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm not, but I'm teaching till 10. And she'd be like, oh, okay, well, I can't see you then. I'm like, we can see me. You know, we can watch film, we can have something to eat, we can go out. A bit late to be going out, but you see my point. But I'd say, like, I won't be home till 10:15, 10:30. So if you want to see me, then that works. Luckily, Sade used to work nights. She worked a full-time day job, but she used to work in Yates, 4 evenings a week. So she was used to being up late anyway. So our relationship worked from the off-go, because she was happy to come around at 10 o'clock, watch a film till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then go to bed, and then get up at 6:30 ready for work again. So that actually worked. But that would not work if either I wanted to go to bed at 8 and she wanted to stay up till midnight, or vice versa. I stayed at the gym till 10 o'clock at night and she goes to bed at 9, because then you're going to get, oh, you're always at the bloody gym. Well, you're always bloody tired. Well, you don't finish till 8. Well, what's the point? Which is why we work, because our timetable is in sync and we both don't mind. And so that can be a massive strain, just having that timetable. If your timetable, I mean, so many, certainly families with newborns, new families, obviously their routine changes massively, and a lot of them end up getting second jobs. So, you know, one will go to work, look after the child, one will come in, look after the child, the next one will go to work, do bar work, cleaning work, etc., etc. So many people that I know do this. So for the next 3-4 years in their life, it's their next part of their life, because they need more money, because they've lost their income from the day work. Obviously they've got bills to pay for, but then you end up being passing ships in the night. So that is huge. But again, if that's what you need to do to make it work, then you just have to suck it up, crack on with it, be as polite and as good as you can, try and help each other out as much as you can, until the children are old enough to go to school, and then you go back to work and hopefully go back to a bit more normal. If you keep having kids, that will keep happening. So yeah, I don't know if that helps any of you. I don't know if you find that interesting or not. If you do, let me know. This is my first ever solo. In my head was probably going to be 5-10 minutes with up to 18. So I hope you found this of interest. I hope you engage with it. I hope that this might help some of you out. If it only helps one person out, I'm really happy. If you like it, leave me a comment, let me know. I have no links to follow yet because I haven't built them. So this is just a test. Hope you're well, be good, try and get some sleep. And if you don't worry about it. I'm all right, I seem to be okay. Hopefully we will be too. Take care guys, see you soon. Bye-bye.